Hi Isaac, how you doing? All right, let's see what we got here. I've got your workup right here. So let's go and take a look. Hopefully this little camera window is not too obstructing things, but I'll move around. We'll be able to take a look. I don't want to reduce it too small because I want to be able, well, actually that works. Okay, nice job. Looking good. Really, really interesting layout. I think it's interesting. I really do. I think we're off, off to a really interesting start. Okay, so where do we go from here? Let me go ahead and make some comments. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to zoom in. We're going to take a close look at your typography in the main body copy. Okay, Nobel Prize, looking pretty good. Looking at your kerning, by the way. I think you were looking pretty good there. Okay, S, drop cap. That should be a drop cap. I would recommend using a drop cap. Just do some quick, do some research. Get online and say so how to drop how to set a drop cap. I don't know if you used Illustrator or InDesign here, so just research accordingly. But basically, you want that S to drop in to the paragraph instead of sitting above the paragraph. I'd say 2 or 3 lines. In this size type, I'd say 3 lines would be cool. Actually, yeah, 2 or 3 lines. Your choice. Try it. See what you like. Um, Rags need to be adjusted, definitely. So, and all of this stuff is covered in course announcements and various announcements. So you'll have to go and kind of go through. But there is a dedicated video on how to adjust rags. So these rags definitely need to be adjusted in both paragraphs. Okay. Do some research on when is applicable to apply, or when is applicable for italics, use of italics, and then apply accordingly. Uh, you got too many hyphens in here. I would turn hyphens off completely here. You got 2 lines in a row that have hyphens in that. The typeset could be a little bit more effective. And type this short, I would just turn my hyphens off. Okay, numbers. Either you, boy, let me see. It's difficult to tell. It really is with this PDF rendering, but I think it's a PDF or a JPEG. But at any rate, you want to try to use old style numerals through the OpenType menu. Again, that's covered in the course announcements video tutorial, so check. Old style numerals is what we're looking at. If your typeface doesn't have OpenType capabilities, you won't be able to access the old style numerals. So if that's the case, you take your numerals and just reduce them by about 20% or so. Default numbers are just too big for the typefaces they are. Well, I'd say 95% of typefaces, the numbers are too large. Okay, so we always adjust numbers. Okay, so that's covers your, basically what I'm looking for is proper use of M dash, N dash, dash, hyphen, proper use of small caps as opposed to all caps, proper use of old style numerals or reducing numbers, proper use of rags, adjustment of rags. Okay, so let's go ahead and, among other things, of course, that's not all I'm looking for, but okay, so right now I think that you've got this line right here for the obvious reason that the image is that's probably all we have of the image. So that line's okay, but the top line is problematic because basically you're creating a separate box up here that's creating a degree of separation. This line here is necessary, this one is not. I don't recommend this top rule. Let's take a look at your left margin. Now, what I would recommend is this, is right now you've got 3 staggering areas of left margin. You've got here, here, and then here. So my recommendation is to set up your left margin. It looks like right now, this is a little bit wider than this. So establish your margins with your timeline. So this would have to be elongated a little bit. Make sure you keep the proportions constrained. So we set up your margin, right? Then you take that left margin, align your type with it, and then pull your headline over and get that in alignment too. That'll increase your harmony. Technically, these are widows. Okay, you don't ever want to have a word of type sitting on a line alone. Avoid that at all because the first thing that hiring professionals and portfolio reviewers look at. So you don't ever want a word on a line of type alone. So you'll have to adjust accordingly. Good concept here. I think it might be interesting if you take that drop cap, when you drop that 3 lines like I recommended, color it red. I think that will make something very, very interesting. You might even consider, now No, I recommend removing that line, that little. You've got his name here, 1909. What does that mean, though? What does 1909 mean? That's not explained at all. So that creates a big question mark. Svante Arrhenius, 1909. Is that his year of birth, his year of death, the year he won the award? It just does. We don't know what that means. So that's nondescript. I would introduce a second typeface, maybe this typeface here for your timeline. You're using both serif typefaces here and here. I think we can add some interesting typographic variety by switching up the typeface therein. Okay. Your selections might be a little bit far from the timeline. I would reduce them a little bit. These converging lines, I think, I guess they're okay. They're okay. A little bit. No, they're fine. They're fine. But I would say bring the type just a little closer to the timeline, just to draw a more obvious connection. Okay. Other than that, I think it's really good work. It's looking fantastic. All right. So at this point, if you have any questions at all, please let me know. I'll be glad to make any necessary clarifications. Sound good? Thanks.